Hello once again, this is Jeff Scott, your instructor for the online version of 152-157, Website Development XHTML CSS for the Fall 2015 semester at Blackhawk Technical College. I'm now going to be going over the PowerPoints for Chapter 12, which is an introduction to e-commerce. E-commerce is basically the ability to sell things on the web. All right, so we'll define it, which I kind of just did, talk about the benefits and the risks, in other words, advantages and disadvantages, some of the different e-commerce business models, some of the security concerns, talk about EDI or electronic data interchange, talk about trends, projections in the future for e-commerce, e-commerce issues, and some of the options for order and payment processing. All right, so e-commerce is basically the ability to buy and or sell goods over the internet. All right, really processing any kind of financial transaction as well. You've seen commercials, and maybe you've done this with your bank, where you can take a picture of your check and basically deposit it like that. Let's think about the advantages that e-commerce has for business. Reduce costs. All right, because if a lot of it's automated, you'll need less people, which is both a plus and a minus. Ideally, increase customer satisfaction because the customer can get whatever they want. If they want to order a book, they'll know whether or not it's in stock. They can order it from the comfort of their own home, etc. More effective data management. Amazon probably has one of the slickest databases, I'd imagine, in the world. Potentially higher sales, because if you're a bookstore that only exists in one town, but you put your stuff online, now you basically have opened yourself up to the world. Convenience, again, as I mentioned, the old joke about sitting there in your bathrobe and slippers buying things online. You're able to do that. Easier comparison shopping. If I want to buy a television, I can go out to bestbuy.com. I can go out to whatever, Sears.com, Pennies.com, whoever sells them. If I'm looking for a computer, I can do the same kind of thing. Wider selection of goods. Along with the pluses comes some risks. Your website, because that basically is your moneymaker, must be robust and reliable. If people come out to it and it takes too long for something to happen, they're just going to go to somebody else. Fraudulent transactions. You want to set it up so that no one else can go in and use customers' accounts. Some people don't like to purchase online, especially a lot of times older people. They just don't trust it. Increased competition. Yeah, now everybody's got an online presence just about. Possible security issues. Can people come in there? Can they see your information? Can they get credit card information, etc.? Privacy issues. All right, how much information should you provide to these people? When you purchase from photos and descriptions, a lot of times something looks real nice in a photo or it's described real nice, but when you get it, it doesn't look like that. I know that for a while, at least, Amazon had difficulty with returns. You could only return a certain number of things per year. I don't know if that's changed or not. Some of the e-commerce business models, B2C, business to consumer. All right, that's how most of us purchase things on the web. If I go out to Amazon, they're the business, I'm the consumer. Business to business. All right, if I own a company, if I let's say that I'm an employee at Lowe's Hardware, all right, and I've got to order some pallets of concrete, let's just say from a concrete company. That's business to business. Consumer to consumer, C to C. The biggest one of that I can think of would be like eBay. And business to government, where a private business sells goods and services to the government. Now, electronic data interchange, the idea of EDI, it's been around, as you can see, for 50 plus years. It's a paperless society. I spent a year before I came to Blackhawk as an electronic data interchange programmer analyst for Woodward Governor Company in Rockford, Illinois. And I can tell you that the idea of EDI is kind of a funny one in that years ago I went to a symposium that was given by a paper company, and it was on EDI. And I asked the gentleman who was giving the symposium, I said, why would somebody from a paper company be talking about a paperless society? And what he told me was, what we have found out is when people go paperless, they print out more, not less. All right, what do people buy online? You can see that yourselves here. Here's some more stats. There's other demographics, and you can check those out as you're interested. E-commerce issues, intellectual property, even Blackhawk. We talk about stuff like this. These tapes that I create, who owns them? If I'm creating them on Blackhawk's equipment, technically we both own them. All right. Security issues with e-commerce. Again, fraud, somebody getting into your account, somebody buying things that they're not authorized to buy. Taxes. Right now, a lot of stuff that's on the internet is not taxed, and that will change probably in the future. And what happens if you buy things cross-country. All right. More things, encryption and decryption. I'm going to let you read about those yourselves and about the different types. Typically, you talk about SSL, all right, also referred to as Transact SSL. I've given this kind of example before, but if I go out to, so if I come out here and I go out to Amazon.com, as of right now, I'm not logged in. But if I decide I want to buy this Microsoft Access Bible, so if I click on that and I decide I want to put that into my shopping cart, first thing I have to do is I have to log in because I'm not anonymous anymore. So when I proceed to the checkout, they need to know who I am. All right? And hopefully you notice once I did that, it changes to HTTPS, which means you're trying to give, provide some security and give me a secure socket layer that I'm using for the transaction. All right, they talk about different types of encryption. I'm not going to go over those. That is much of the chapter, okay, as you can see. All right, e-commerce payment models. Cash typically isn't an option. Usually you pay by either credit or by some kind of a smart card. For mobile payments, hit on NFC in just a couple minutes and talk about virtual wallets. There's a lot of e-commerce storefront solutions that you can basically start for free. You can open up your own shop literally out of your basement or out of your garage in about an hour. And that's pretty much it for this chapter. All right, I'll come back and talk about it in more depth and breadth of coverage in just a few minutes.